San Fernando East, Dr. Natalie Chetan Maharaj for Aruka Lupino, Richard Smith for Trin-City Maloney, and Devesh Maharaj for Arangwe St. Joseph. The UNC has confirmed it will not contest Tobago's 2 seats and continues its screening process and mobilization efforts as it prepares for the elections. A 22-year-old Venezuelan man was shot near the Balmain Community Center in Couva yesterday morning. The victim told police he was standing along Balmain Main Road when he heard a loud noise and felt a burning sensation in his left leg. He saw a blue Toyota Aqua speeding away and raised an alarm. Police, led by W. Corporal Atkinson, responded, and the man was taken to the Couva Health Facility. 2 spent shells were recovered at the scene. Investigators have yet to determine a motive, and inquiries are ongoing. Police are investigating the discovery of a decomposed body found in a river along Silica Sands Road, Arima, yesterday morning. A resident spotted the nude body floating near a gravel pit around 6 a.m. and alerted the authorities. Officers from the Arima Police Station and Homicide Bureau, led by Inspector Mascal, responded. The body, which remains unidentified, was removed and is scheduled for a post-mortem at the Forensic Science Center. Investigations are ongoing. 3 police officers were injured on Saturday afternoon while attempting to arrest a 38-year-old man at a funeral service in Valencia. Police attending the funeral of Dwight Saunders, who was linked to the resistance gang, observed a known offender and moved to arrest him. However, attendees intervened, throwing bottles and metal objects at the officers. Backup arrived and the suspect, who tried to flee, was detained. The officers received medical treatment for their injuries. The suspect faces multiple charges, including resisting arrest, escaping custody, and assaulting police officers. Internationally, a man has been arrested in New York for allegedly setting a woman on fire aboard a stationary subway train in Brooklyn on Sunday. Police say the victim, whose clothing was ignited with a lighter, was fully engulfed in flames and died at the scene. The incident occurred at the Coney Island Stillwell Avenue station, with no apparent interaction or prior connection between the man and the victim. The suspect initially remained at the scene and was later identified through body camera footage and tips from vigilant teens who spotted him on another train. He was arrested at Herald Square Station in Manhattan. The motive for the attack remains unclear and no charges have been filed yet. Well, that's news to the hour on WESN. I'm Naomi McNish. Thanks for watching.
WESN.
The saga continues. Which saga, you say? Well, technically there are many. Technically they're varied. Technically, it's almost like if the stories within our politics, they're like the Rocky franchise or the Fast and Furious franchise. They just never seem to end, you know? In this case, we have what I guess you could say might be Warner, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. It all depends on what you count as part of the saga. I don't mean Jack Warner. I mean Alan Warner. Alan Warner and at least one of his companies, Warner Construction and Sanitation Limited, is now facing a legal tiff with the THA. The THA is saying financial misconduct, corruption, fraud. And Mr. Warner is saying, you know, I'm being scapegoated. Now, to some extent, despite all of the context of all of the other matters that Mr. Warner is attached to within the public sphere, we do have to at least, consider, is he being scapegoated? Well, on one hand, there's a clear reason why he's being scapegoated. He's friends with the Prime Minister. On the other hand, that very same reason is also kind of part of the context on why you would believe, or not why you would believe, but why it's not difficult to believe accusations of misconduct. Because there are other accusations, not that it's been proven. But human psychology, you tend to believe things that has more and more weight of evidence behind it, even if it's technically not confirmed yet. Of course, there's the Inez Gate situation, where it brings up the question, how much of a gift is too much? In some jurisdictions, there are no gifts, or no gifts above something like $100 or something small like that, because you want to ensure there's no potential for the perception, not just the perception, no potential for the perception of any sort of corruption or bribery or under-the-table dealings or what have you. A concept, this is the thing with transparency, you tend to avoid certain things that may look like corruption. It doesn't have to be corruption, it just once it looks like corruption. And this is a concept that seems to be lost on a lot of local politicians when they say, well, it was just a gift. It's like, other jurisdictions have a cap on gifts for a reason, a hard cap that's very strict and severe. Mr. Warner also has the illegal quarrying situation, which, ironically, that is potentially uncovering a modus operandi amongst quarrying in the country that basically is saying, to some extent, that industry has regularized doing the wrong thing. And now we have this situation where Mr. Warner is saying, the THA has not paid me for my work, $46 million, but the THA is saying, hold on, time out. We would actually argue that you owe us $66.9 million for not only having contracts that did not go through after, remember, the then PDP, now TPP, had an audit. And it took a while, and apparently this is one of the things that come out of the audit. So none of the contracts apparently were approved of the Central Tenders Board, which apparently was a requirement. So that's one of the THA's arguments. Each are void and of no effect. But then they also go on to say that there was work paid for road paving or road repair, and apparently they could show examples in situations where the work was either subpar or there's no evidence of work at all. Now, all I have is a report that says they say these things. That said, my general position is always, if there's something that is easily proven, that can be easily proven to be a lie, I'm not going to suspect that it's going to be a lie, because everyone says politicians are smart, right? Why would they lie in an obvious manner? So I'm willing to go with what the Chief Secretary and the THA is saying about this, because I would be confused if they were lying about this, but it is what it is. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that their version of events is the be-all and end-all when you dive into all of the details. But the last thing that they are complaining about is that there was collusion with the PNM THA, the administration that was there more or less before the PDP won that last THA election. So this, ironically, might not even, it could, because she was there for almost a year, or to a year, Tracy Davis and Celestine, the 6-6 situation. Or it could be Ansel Dennis or Ansel Dennis's predecessor, depending on when these contracts were awarded and all of that. I don't have all the details. At the end of the day, this whole situation, it's before the courts. It's technically sub judice. The media got wind of it. Mr. Warner is questioning, oh, this is convenient. Elections are coming up. Why now? Well, a couple of things. One, with regards to anybody that brings up timing of controversies that come up now, to some extent, I actually would argue the elections are going to be sometime mid or after the midpoint of next year. So if I wanted to have an election silver bullet to kind of sink you or prop myself up, maybe I would have done it like 4 to 6 months from now. But that's just, you know, my feelings on the matter of how, if I was in that position, what I would do. Not that I condone any sort of action, you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, I don't have any problems just waiting to see, assuming the trial will be free and fair and objective, etc., what the results from that come from. It's fine. The THA puts out accusations. They've taken Mr. Warner to court. They've even given their order to the TTPS. So they're going through the official channels, and I have no problem letting that play itself out. The one chink in the armor of the argument of either side is, and this is an assumption there, this is a perception, so this is not necessarily something that I have like a guarantee this is so. But it seems as though Mr. Warner doesn't necessarily, he's a bit defensive. Dare I ask, is it that he doesn't necessarily want to see this go to trial? I mean, he already has other situations that I'm not entirely sure if he agrees with it, but just because you disagree with something doesn't mean you could get away from a lawsuit or a criminal matter. At the end of the day, I have no issues not condemning any man because we don't have anything proven. So, like I said, let's just wait and see how the courts play this out. Let's not get caught up in the bubble of while it's in the court, you see, it's his fault, or it's that fault, or it's the next one's fault, and da 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 da. No. Let Mr. Warner have his day in court. Let the THA have their day in court. Let's see the results. Then, when we have something concrete, we could maybe consider who to blame. And in the meantime, maybe we should exercise restraint to be fair to all sides. Of course, I say this, it sounds very idealistic because how long is it going to take these court matters to actually sort itself out? I have no idea. With our courts, you can never know. It might be long or it might be fast-tracked. Does it deserve to be fast-tracked? It all depends. Mr. Warner's trying to get his money. THA, apparently they're trying to claim money. But I would just like to argue, once again, if we had this little thing called transparency, you know, this small, minor concept, this ideological way of thinking and acting, and this minor principle with regards to how one maybe should consider to behave, if we just practice that more, maybe we wouldn't have this mess. All right. We should be looking to welcome my colleague in a bit, but before we do that, we have a couple of stories to get through because this is talking about a WESN show. Michael Small here. This is, of course, the last episode till Christmas. So we have some stuff to get to kind of wrap up the week. No more live shows after today. So let's start off today's daily review. The timing of this, there's a part of me that wants to kind of just be sarcastic and ignore some of the more unpleasant parts of it. Because the timing of this, there's irony here. And my dry humor side that comes from, I guess, my Irish grandmother, wants to acknowledge the fact that this is one hell of a gift that we wish we could give back on Christmas Eve, or on the eve of Christmas Eve. Christmas Adam, as I have been told by another colleague. But now the moderators crossed 600, just in time for Christmas. What do we make of this? Like I said, it's a gift we wish we could give back, but unfortunately we can't. One of the things, of course, is some of these murders kind of not kind of brutal. some of them essentially look as though they are targeted killings. In one case, a soldier is involved. Now, we do have to ask, and I'm starting to wonder if the fact that he's a soldier meant nothing to the situation per se. He was targeted for a reason, and they just didn't care that he was a soldier or not. Not that they're starting to target soldiers now. Either way, though, it's somebody within our national security apparatus being targeted. Usually, that's not something criminals should be willing to just do because reasons. Some of which not entirely legal, but, you know, the response might not always be in the best interest of the health of the perpetrators, so they tend to avoid these things, except in Trinidad. You know, outside of one case where they got a guy and he did not get his day in court because he passed away while in custody. It seems as though outside of that, attackers to our national security servicemen and women, they don't seem to be in that much fear of the law and consequences for that attack. This is not the first incident of a serviceman being attacked, whether it's from the regiment, the prison service, or the police service. 602 murders for the year. We are almost half a century more than last year. One of the murders that stands out to me is a woman being hacked to death. That's not just someone sticking a gun out, pulling a trigger, or even pulling a trigger multiple times. It's up close and personal. It shows a certain disregard for human pain and suffering and human life that, well, I can't say I'll never understand it. Someone who is an amateur student of history, history is replete with examples of things like this. But in this day and age, where does one go? What kind of environment does one live in that allows them to do something like this? And this reminds me of the retiree who was killed with her own knife. These kinds of murders are up close and personal. They're brutal, not just because of the pain involved, but how you're inflicting the pain. Again, it's very easy for someone to just point a gun and shoot. It's a lot easier for someone who is reluctant or uneasy with violence to utilize that form of violence. To utilize a knife or a blade or a cutlass or anything like that, that's a whole other level of intention. One of the other things that we have to ask, because in some of these cases, the home invasions or robberies and the like, is it that the criminal elements in society now, because these aren't, at least I don't think these are gang killings over drug wars and block wars. It seems as though, and this is always the fair, Christmas, Carnival, people want to spend money. If they don't have money, they might do some drastic things, turn to a life of crime. But the trick is now, is this is a question, this is not a statement of fact. Is this an escalation with regards to robbers and home invaders, burglars? They're thinking, I'll actually be better off to kill the witness as opposed to not escalating things to murder. If it was one situation, I wouldn't ask that question, but seemingly it's more than one. Maybe it's not yet a trend yet, but I don't need to label it a trend to be concerned. We still have 7 days to go. 1 week, basically, to pad the stats, to potentially cross 605, which that's what they say is the record. I think at the end of the day, it's not about blame. I don't appreciate the results of the work of the police executive, of the national security apparatus, of the criminal justice system. It's not that I hate the people involved when I say perhaps we need to replace them sooner rather than later. Are we going to see IRLA for one more year? That is a question that's up in the air for the public. The people in charge, the Police Service Commission, they know. We also, this is one of the issues with the upcoming election. It's an opportunity for us to potentially, if we exercise our civic responsibility properly, choose a better government. We don't always carry out that exercise properly. But it also means there's going to be a disconnect, a break in the ideology of how this whole thing is being run. Sometimes that could be changed for the better. Sometimes that could be changed for the worse. You know, you roll the dice, you take your chances. Is it all on the police? No, but to some extent, the people in charge of the police, are we going to hold them accountable? Is the results good enough? This is the kind of job where it's not about fair to your career, it's about fair to the fact that people are dying if you make a mistake. CEOs of private businesses and major corporations, they don't get a lot of rope. Their leash is very short. All it takes is one error for them to be sacked. Why does it seem as though we want to look at the executive of a national security arm and we want to give them the same amount of chances you will give someone now coming out of secondary school who's going to be a stock boy in a supermarket? A stock boy's mistake might damage a little bit of stock, a little bit of goods, might cost a little bit of money. Tens of dollars, hundreds of dollars, maybe if he's unlucky or negligent, thousands of dollars. One life, I would argue, is worth more than thousands of dollars. And that's not going into the property damage or theft because of crime and fraud. But just one life alone, how do you equate that? How many are acceptable? In some situations, though, maybe you do calculate the lives of our citizens in such a callous way because you have no choice if you want to keep things stable as opposed to taking risks to solve issues. What's the philosophy? I don't know. It doesn't seem that there's any real thought into it. That's one of the reasons why you want to see change in leadership, something that you could maybe believe in more. Are we going to get that within a year? I don't know. Technically, IRLA's contract will be up at the beginning of the year, before the election. What about the rest of the executive? Are they doing a good enough job? We don't know. We don't know. I will say this, though. I do think politics is at play. More than merit, more than analysis, more than results-based thinking, more than what's good for the nation. Politics is one of the things that's getting in the way of solving this issue, which is ironic because people look at the politicians and want them to provide a solution. We all want crime to be reduced. So what's the holdup? One of my biggest pet peeves, an entity that has a general consensus to achieve something and yet seems to be completely incapable to achieve it. That usually means that the stakeholders of that entity, the decision makers of that entity, the voices that run that entity, whether formal or informal, they're doing something wrong. How long are we going to tolerate this? I want to move quick to the next story. Just to be brief, a few days ago, Minister Hines, he announced the probe, a 3-person committee to investigate. Now it says to investigate the fire service's response to the fire. But then at least one of the newspapers report that it's not as though it's going to just be limited to the fire service. The role of WASA and the Arima Borough Council will be examined regarding the status of the fire at the scene and whether water was available. They will also inquire into reports of the tragedy by the Fire Service, WASA Police Service, Forensic Science Center, TNTech, National Commands, and the Strategic Services Agency. They may solicit information from individuals for eyewitness accounts of the fire, examine all other material circumstances leading up to and surrounding the fatal incident. What is said is what I want to see. All, everything. Question is, are they going to potentially look into government decisions that led the fire service to this point? Will they go that far as well? I don't think that was necessarily stated out, but they left an open-ended rider, clause, term. This is what I want to see with what they are supposed to be investigating, but we have to then now see how it's going to be implemented, what's going to be practiced. Hopefully, this committee will get to the bottom of it. Jack Warner thinks they needed someone more independent than the people involved. I think it is potentially independent enough. Someone from OSHA, someone from the fire service. Are they going to try to protect their own? I guess is the one question that we should ask, or some people will have in their minds. There's a tendency that we could actually kind of figure things out if we analyze results of what they put out there. So let's see what they put out there first. And hopefully we'll get some answers, because it just happened to be a minister this time. But it could happen to anybody, and it could happen again. That's the key point. When you want something fixed, it's not because we want the barn doors closed after the horse is bolted. It's because there are other horses in the barn, and we don't want another horse to escape. So close them quick so that it doesn't happen again. That's all we ask. And hopefully, at least this government has an incentive to properly follow through this time, yeah? Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue conversations with my co-host. Stay tuned to talk about the WSN. We'll be right back after this.
Simon's Musical Supplies Limited. We are the specialist in new and used musical instruments, carrying top brands like Yamaha, Pearl River pianos, vinyl and Sabian cymbals, Remo and Evans drumheads and Fender guitars, just to name a few. Also a wide assortment of music books, pan and accessories. At Simon's, we service what we sell. Trust the leader. Call us now at 625-6412 or visit us at 20 Board Street, Port of Spain.
Having trouble Christmas shopping? Check out the Kids Shop today. For all your officially licensed kid character merchandise, we carry characters such as Disney Princess, Frozen, Spider-Man, Paw Patrol, Sonic, My Little Pony, and much more. Call or visit us on Facebook or Instagram. Nationwide delivery available. The Kids Shop, for all your licensed kids character merchandise.
Do you need treatment for obesity or any related abdominal procedures? The community hospital now offers minimally invasive laparoscopic surgery done by an American-trained, board-certified surgeon with over 20 years' experience.
Give us a call at 235-5479 for more information.
The Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus. Quality you trust. Prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
If these walls could talk, they'd cry uncle. They didn't plan to become offices or yoga studios. But they've stood by us, even when we got a little stir-crazy. For that, they deserve some thanks. They deserve Benjamin Moore.
Here's your chance to win a bicycle, a ride-on, or a hoverboard. Shop at dbesttoys.com and spend $300 or more to win big.
We've got Barbie,
Hot Wheels, Gel Blaster.
What Christmas present we must use this one?
Ride-ons,
Leapfrog,
Sean.
Nerf, bicycles and tricycles.
What's that a
Draco,
Christmas present?
and Wonder Baby.
Visit us in store at Forces flagship McBean, Movie Town, Port of Spain,
Eastgate Mall and M6 Plaza Endeavour.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. Sean in a Santa hat for the first time ever, I think. You know, take your pictures now. I can't guarantee this will happen again next year, but also Santa has another gift for you, and this one is a bit more of a regularly scheduled gift. Of course, that is my co-host, Mr. Keaton Shaw. Keaton!
Oh, Merry Christmas, Sean. Well, so much for that. Hello, Sean. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good Christmas.
I'm all right. How is your Christmas going, Keaton? How was your Christmas?
Actually, it's beginning to cost a lot like Christmas.
I mean, listen, you know, maybe one could argue you should come over to the dark side, to the Scrooge side, you know. Bar humbug is a lot cheaper, technically speaking.
Well, my friend, you maintain that spirit, bar humbug, and hopefully you don't get cool in your stocking this year.
Listen, right now, I do wonder, off of all jokes, how many people are considering the economics of Christmas. If other people get me presents, I have to get them presents. If there's no gift exchange, my bills for December reduce a lot.
I'm sorry, aren't we supposed to be merry this morning? Christmas is expensive, but you can still make it merry.
I mean, okay, so what have we all done for Christmas? I will say that last minute decision, despite the fact that I was trying to maybe encourage this to be made earlier, but I will be traveling to Tobago to see family for Christmas, so yay for that. We haven't necessarily done anything except shop for Christmas, so essentially the house is a combination of wrapping and packing, not so much decorated and celebrating.
I hope your family doesn't get too excited by your expression of excitement coming to Tobago for Christmas, but it's what's happening on my end. You can see that I've decorated. I mean, this is just one tiny part of inside where I live, and we've put up decorations. I think right off to Thanksgiving or Black Friday ended, we had our decorations up. And I've been looking forward to this because Christmas is my favorite time of the year. And there's nothing like a Trini Christmas, by the way. You can go all over the world to celebrate Christmas, but a Trini Christmas is the absolute best. What have I done so far? I've spent a lot of time with family. I've spent a lot of time with friends. We had our WSN Christmas party last week Friday. I think it was quite fun. There were some moments that were a bit interesting, especially when it came to the All Fours tournament.
Yes,
But
yes.
it was really good, and I heard that I missed the most entertaining part. I left a little bit before the most entertaining part of the Christmas party happened. How unfortunate, but that's okay. We're here this morning, and we're merry, we're happy, we're jolly, and we're bright.
You really
At least I,
trying?
at least I am. I don't know about you, Sean, but
Keaton, are you purposely trying to bring the Grinch out in me? You know, you just poking that bear? You just poking that bear?
No, I'm not trying to bring it out in you. You've done that this morning. Listen, how have you gone from Scrooge to the Grinch? How have you gone from the Scrooge to the Grinch? I don't understand. You've got to get some Christmas cheer in you. Come, folks, listen. When you call in this morning, please bring some Christmas joy and cheer, an ounce of it to Sean. And of course, to me as well, I'd appreciate it. But bring just a little bit of Christmas joy and cheer to Sean. It'll be good. He needs it. He needs that merriment.
It's true what they say. Christmas is for the young. People might think, oh, Sean and Keaton, you're both young. No, we are not the same age, right? I have gone past the point of, getting presents as a young person and being like, ooh, now I'm old enough where I get things like socks, okay?
So do I. Listen, and I look forward to that. Listen, your expensive clothes are. If you get a 3-pack of underwear, a 6-pack of socks, you good for a few months. As a guy, those are great presents. What are you talking about? You should be accepting that with grace. That saves you having to go and purchase. And listen, boxers and jockey shorts and socks ain't cheap, my friend. Accept it. You're saving money. Your budget is working out well for you. And by the way, who says that it's yes, okay, maybe it's the presents for the kids. I look forward to the parang puncher creme and ham. That's what I look forward to. I look forward to the pastels, the pork, and the sorrel. So, my friend, there's so many aspects to a Trini Christmas that you can appreciate and you can love. And, we've got to get some Christmas joy in you.
It's like he has the enthusiasm of a child and the appreciation of a middle-aged, married man with 6 kids. I got socks. It's both interesting to watch. I do wonder, Keaton, if you would be an interesting case study for social scientists. Like, how do you come out as 52, straight from the womb, talking about things that happened well before you were born? But
Sean.
One of a kind,
Sean.
folks. One of a kind.
Are you speaking about my mother now? Are you speaking about my mother?
Oh, my God, Keaton.
Yeah, she brought me a lot of merriment.
If you were here... Anyway, that said, shout out, though. I had a very surreal moment going to one of my favorite lunch places, and they were giving out free sorrel, as they do at least once for Christmas. And I was like, wait, didn't you all give out sorrel already? It's like, no, that was last year. So I had one of those moments where Christmas is here again already. It's too fast kind of stories. Trust me, you'll experience that more when you get older. And I mean, it is what it is. Family is important because of that. I think because of the passage of time, you kind of start to have an appreciation more about how limited it is, and you want to try and get in as much as you can. So here I am, Keaton, just for you and the viewers, because I do believe the last time we had a conversation about me wearing a hat on my head for Christmas, yeah, I wasn't having it.
Was it Christmas last year or the year before? We were trying to get you to wear a hat on Talking Point, and
first of all,
we did not succeed.
First of all, I don't know if people could see why it usually doesn't succeed. Look at Keaton, folks. Look at Keaton, right? Look at Keaton. Then look at me. Look at his hat on his head, and look at the hat on my head. And it's the same hat, right? Notice something. It's very different, I'm like struggling here. Oh, it's actually stretching. Okay, yeah.
Sean,
now I've cut off blood flow to my brain.
Your hat looks like it probably needs 2 Guinness or I don't know, some oysters or something like that to stay up, because clearly it's deflated. I don't know, and maybe it's the lack of Christmas spirit. 2 oysters, 2 Guinness, and you're good to go, my friend.
Listen, you have to walk before you could run, right? We got the hat. We got the hat. to stop asking for miracles where you want perfection the first time out. I mean, look, just take the gift, accept it, you know, stop complaining. Stop complaining about what you didn't get.
Listen, I'm glad that you're wearing it as well. I'm happy. I'm really glad. I mean, it's taken us how long? 2 years, a year to get you to put on a hat, so I'm happy.
Okay. So I have another gift for you. Something, I don't know how much other people might laugh at this, but I'm hoping that you might laugh at this. So I have a couple of videos now. We're going to go into politics, but maybe from a lighter side, a couple of short clips. The first one, I don't know why. This might not really be very Christmassy, but I just thought I wanted
I'm a bit nervous, man.
I wanted you to see. I wanted you to see this. I want to see if this will make you laugh. So there's we have a couple of clips there. I want to make sure we get the right one first for dramatic effects. So I have a clip on politics in a nutshell. You know, it simplifies politics for us, Keaton. So if you could run this clip, it's time to cue this.
Me want good thing. Oh. We like good thing. How you pay for good thing? He want bad thing. No, me no want bad thing. He want bad thing. He want bad thing. No, me no want bad thing.
I don't know if you followed it, Keaton. Keaton looks stunned.
What was that supposed to be?
So the first guy is basically saying, I want to give you
what
this.
They said.
I want to give you this good thing, and everyone is like, I like that. And then the other guy is the responsible guy saying, well, how are you going to pay for it? And instead of dealing with the question, he's basically saying, well, he's the bad guy. Blame him. And that's politics in a nutshell, folks. He won bad thing. And then we all rally, yes, he won bad thing. And then we vote them out of office, or we don't vote for them, or we decry them, or denounce them, or whatever. You know, you just point the finger and say, he won bad thing. That's the cause of all your problems. Bad thing.
You just basically spoke the whole script of the joke. You didn't need to play the video. You could have just said that.
No. But the video, it's a lot more effective, Keaton. It's a lot more effective. You want us to run it again? We can run it again. It's not too long. We can run it again. You want us to run it again?
No, it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Thanks.
But don't you think it's right? Isn't that basically almost everything in TNT in a nutshell? You know, somebody proposes something and it's good for us, and then somebody questions it, so they say, you know, he won bad thing, and then that's the end of that?
Well, sometimes it comes across that way. Sometimes you get that sentiment being expressed from the public, but then this is where we have individuals such as us who have to try and decipher, you know, the nonsense from the good stuff, and hopefully the public will digest it and understand. But, you know, put it this way, Sean, Michael Small, if everything was smooth all the time, we might not have a show.
That's true. That is true. You know, human nature makes things complicated. One of the things, I guess for me, I don't know if it's for you, I think we view current events differently. We have different lenses, right? I mainly view it through my lens, which is how talking points, it causes me to make Talking Point be a certain type of show. You view it through your lens, and that's expressed in AM Prime and the interviews that you have and the commentary that you give on the show as well. But like, have you had issues with the Christmas spirit? Because these days, and I've said it before, you know, and some of the callers made note of it, and I said it before, earlier this month, earlier this year, late last year, where like, I don't know, it's hard for me to feel the Christmas spirit given all the bad things in the news.
To be quite honest with you, Sean, I felt that way for some years now. I haven't necessarily felt the full joy or the full extent of Christmas for quite some time now. And I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe we're getting older, and maybe we're just trying too hard to feel the Christmas spirit. Maybe we so desperately want to feel it that we tend to ignore the little good that exists around us. I don't know. Yes, a lot that is happening in Trinidad, quite a lot more than anything else, is not necessarily a good thing. It's quite negative. It's quite harsh. We ended the show on Friday, following what was quite a very strange week in Trinidad. To get the
Wait,
news of what happened on Sunday morning
but
with respect to the
did you hear what's
collapse
going
of
on?
this rig. And I'm not, even as I'm speaking to you now, I'm hearing quite a lot of police sirens outside. I don't know what's going on, but that's just it. That's like music to our ears now,
No,
with all that's happening. But it's difficult. It ain't easy. I'm just hoping that all of us, with the little positivity left within us and a little bit of cheer, that we somehow or the other make it a Merry Christmas and a Trini Happy Christmas for all of us, and somehow we find a way.
but Keaton, you said all the stuff that happened last week. Did you see what happened that came out over the weekend into this week with the COP? I'm just like, what's going on? I'm confused. I'm like, can you at least decide what you want to do before you make announcements?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's something that I questioned last week in respect to the COP, and I spoke about the executive of the COP because isn't it similar to what Philip Edward Alexander did with the PEP along the lines where he resigned. There was an interim political leader. Then all of a sudden he came back. He's like, no, no, it's mine. I'm taking it. It's my party. And the thing is that you've got an executive now, even though the Constitution, according to the former interim political leader, fixing it allows for this. You still have a party executive of which you need to consult, and you still have party membership of which you need to speak to. So they need to source it out. But again, Sean, it's Christmas Eve. Let's try and put all this aside for the moment. Let's speak about something good. Have you had your first taste of black cake for the season as yet?
Actually, I have not, but I wanted to say one of the reasons why Christmas might not seem as Christmassy. I was out shopping yesterday morning, trying to do last minute stuff. I got a special request, hey, try and find this, for one of my nephews. And I'm in a toy store, and the guy at the counter, he turns on the radio and they're playing soccer. And I'm like, oh, I think he made the comment about how, we ain't even wait until Christmas. We are a couple of days before Christmas, and at least one radio station starting the carnival season already. And is our need for escapism so great that Christmas is not enough? We need to bleed carnival into Christmas because reasons? I don't know.
The soccer has started. It happens every year.
Yeah, but it happens on
Me
Boxing
personally,
Day.
me personally thinks I think we should wait until at least at the very, very minimum the 27th of December. But come on. You've got so many people in Trinidad and so many. Not everybody's into Christmas. Not everybody's into Carnival. So, that's the beautiful thing. We're a melting pot of culture. So let's enjoy all of it. I mean, you don't have to listen to the soca. There are other stations that are blasting out parang and Christmas music. So, go across there and enjoy it while it lasts. But you see, the thing is, you could look at it one way. You could look at it as people just rushing, can't wait for Carnival. Or you could just look at it at the aspect like there's something for everyone. There's something that exists for everyone.
It brings up a good point. Christmas is technically, or the origin is tied to Christianity. Now, one could argue that it's become this commercialized thing that transcends any sort of religious festivities. But then on top of that, we have Trinity Christmas, which ironically is not necessarily about the commercial aspects. Yes, businesses and retail, they want sales. But as you said, it's about the music, it's about the food, it's about the sorrel and the ginger beer. And you don't necessarily need to celebrate Christmas per se to partake in a Trinity Christmas. One could argue this would be one of the few near universal things in our culture. Not everybody participates or enjoys Carnival. But do you know of anyone that, even Scrooge like myself, enjoys ham and pastel and sorrel? Who doesn't enjoy a Trinity Christmas, Keaton?
Sean. I think you should rephrase. Even Scrooge like yourself enjoys food. Yeah, it's not just ham and pastel and sorrel. It's food. Any food.
I feel attacked, Keaton. I feel attacked.
No, I enjoy food too.
Okay.
Just you enjoy food on a different level compared to a lot of people I know.
When you get older, Keaton, you'll understand, you know? Life just, there's only, there are less and less things that bring you joy, Keaton, and you need to take it where you can get it.
Yes, Sean Michael Small. Isn't that good advice for us who are getting older and older? Thank you very much. That gives me great hope.
Now, I have another clip there, another funny political joke. You might appreciate this. This is a bit more of a traditional presentation, so you might appreciate this a bit more, Keaton. And I would ask, do you see this? Have you seen this in TNT? Because I would argue that we see this a lot, whether or not we could identify it. It's there. Let's roll the other clip. We have Reagan on another clip there about the government.
That one of my favorite stories about government had to do with an employee who sat at a desk and papers came to his desk. He read them and determined where they were to go and initialed them and sent them on. And one day a classified document came there, but it came to him, so he read it, initialed it, and sent it on. 24 hours later, it came back to him with a note attached that said, "You weren't supposed to see this. Erase your initials and initial the erasure."
You get it? You get it? You don't get it?
Son, what are you doing to us this morning?
I'm trying to find the lighter side of our reality because I feel as though this happens all too often. And right now, even though it's Christmas, I mean, maybe there's a pause on it because it's the 24th. But I hear a lot of people going through things like this where they essentially get you run around and the bureaucracy sometimes makes absolutely no sense. Like,
yeah, it's the public servant's fault.
Is it necessary? Sometimes it's their fault. Sometimes the system is just set up to be.
Let's just blame the public servant.
The system is just set up to be nonsensical. The government worker in Reagan's example was doing his job. They told him to initial the erasure of his initials.
It was a joke, Sean. That was a joke. Come on, that was a joke.
No, your sarcasm. Your sarcasm was too dry. Your sarcasm was too dry. If your sarcasm was a wine, I would spit it out.
Can you believe this guy? Listen,
who are you talking to? Who are you talking to there? Is there somebody there?
Sean.
Yeah.
I'm speaking.
Do they want to say hi?
To my puppy, who's like, "Oh, what is Sean doing?"
I don't. Well, now you're looking down, but before
we said we were gonna have a lighter show, looking a bit merry and Christmassy. I don't know what he's doing.
Now you're looking down. Before you were looking up, Keaton.
Yeah, I've got 2 dogs.
What? The other ones are Great Dane?
No, actually, sorry, I was staring at my fan. Sure. Anyway, listen, on a, what are you doing with these jokes, man? Come on.
Listen.
Have you got any Christmas jokes?
You have your dad jokes. I have my political humor. Now you know how we feel when you hit us with a Keaton dad joke every other month, you know? Maybe
I haven't done that in a while, actually.
I know, it's because you're remote, Keaton, and maybe this is one of the hidden blessings of you being remote, you know? It spares us from the onslaught of dad jokes from someone who is
Are you trying to say
to
that because
father.
I'm remote, you can switch me off anytime you want to?
I didn't say that.
I'm wondering if you're leading to that. Anyway. So, Sean, what are you doing this Christmas Eve into Christmas Day?
the same thing I do almost every day, Pinky. Try to get some sleep.
Yeah.
Well, no. So I said we have last minute
sleep.
We have last minute plans, Keaton. So the plans we're flying on Christmas Day. So there's one, you know.
Oh, really? You're flying on Christmas Day?
Yeah.
That's
That's a first. It's a first. It's not that bad, but it's a first. So, you know, it'll be a new experience. Ironically, I mean, you always know that there are people who have to work on Christmas for certain things. And some of them, they don't mind. They actually like working for whatever reason. Maybe they want the extra hours. Maybe, you know, they appreciate being allowed to serve people on a day like Christmas, you know? Or maybe they get good tips, depending on what industry they're in. But
I like how you're saying it's going to be a new experience for you. It's a flight to Tobago on Christmas Day. It's
no, but I
just a
mean, you know,
20-minute flight
I'll have
to
to
Tobago on Christmas Day.
engage and go through a whole thing that normally, you know, at Christmas you're driving the family or you're staying home, and that's about it. I mean, it'll be interesting to maybe engage and hopefully maybe have a nice quick chat with whoever I have to interact with, whether on the service counter, well, when we're checking in or when we're boarding, or the flight attendants, you know, who unfortunately, I mean, somebody has to work on the day, and whoever it will be, they'll be carrying out their job. And I guess this is just me trying to tell people, you know, if you're going to engage with anyone working on Christmas Day for whatever reason, just remember, you know, they're working, you're not. So try to be a little extra pleasant to them, you know, so they can have a little bit of a sense of Christmas too, even though they're on the clock. I see Keaton. Keaton is absolutely disregarding my sentiments, my best wishes for the unfortunate people who have to work on Christmas Day. Keaton, you're not working on Christmas Day?
Not this year. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. In fact, I think now it's a good time to tell people that Sean and I will be off until next week, Monday.
Yes.
We'll be back out until next week, Monday. We're not on live tomorrow. We've actually never been live on Christmas Day. And we haven't never been live on Boxing Day either. So what we did is that we protested this year and we demanded that we got the Friday off. And we got the Friday off. So, you know, we're back out next week, Monday.
I don't think we actually gained anything.
So hopefully you can sleep one day longer, okay? Hopefully you get an extra day's sleep where you don't have to wake up and spend 5 minutes in traffic and then complain for the beginning of the entire show. You know, so don't worry about it. You'll be good.
Keaton, have you ever spent 5 hours in traffic?
5 hours in actually, yes, I have spent 5 hours in traffic.
Sorry, on your work commute.
I am not too far from the studio. I've got to traverse that east-west corridor traffic, you know, so I've spent 5 hours in traffic.
Really? 5 hours in traffic?
I have. In fact, the last time I spent anything remotely nice at 5 hours was earlier this year, actually. I got stuck. No, was it earlier this year? Well, we were under hurricane threat last year. And this year, so I think it was last year actually, where I got stuck in traffic because everybody was panicking. The rain had already started, and
but that's not your commute. That's a hurricane situation. You know, that's not.
It doesn't matter. Listen, Sean, you have to understand how the roads in Trinidad work. When one drop of water falls on the road, everything backs up. You know, everything backed up. When an accident happens, and when I say an accident, I mean like it could be a minor accident. It could be a fender bender happens on the next side of the highway in the next part of Trinidad. The traffic backs up all the way to Port of Spain. You know that happens, and not because they've necessarily closed up the road, or because everyone in Trinidad is a journalist, where they have to drive slow and Marco just, oh God, you see what happened there? Oh, good, look at what happened to this bumper boy. If that was me, I'd go cry.
No. The worst I've ever seen, and I've said this before, but I'll say it again, when they remove the wreck of the vehicle that crashed, so there's no wreck, there's nothing to see, hours after the crash, hours after the removal of the wreck, the momentum of the traffic is we're braking on this spot. So cars were still braking on a spot. I don't know if it's because they wanted to watch the barrier, you know, but I don't think there was even a barrier to be damaged on that part of the highway because the wreck was on the inside in the ditch, right? So cars are just stopping to Mako nothing. That is the depth of the Mako mentality that we've reached in TNT. Even when there's nothing to Mako, we'll still slow down on Mako. We don't even know what we're Mako in.
Boy, maybe. Well, Sean, I do hope that you have a great Christmas. When all is said and done, I hope that your year has been fantastic. And I hope that you spend a wonderful... no, I'm not...
Hold on. It sounds like you're trying to cut out early.
I'm simply segueing into asking our viewers, our loyal viewers, we need Shawn Michael Small to get some Christmas cheer. So call in and you will find him here. And he needs some love and he needs some merriment. And boy, if that doesn't happen, then Yes, help us out this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Please, I ask of you. And also, answer me this question. What is one tradition that you must participate in or you must have at Christmas time? I'm talking about in your home, in your house. What is one tradition that you must do, that you have to have for it to feel like and be Christmas in your home, whether it be with your family, friends, whatever? What is one thing that you have to do? So call in, join us on Talking Point, let us know, because every other day of the year, we ask you some question about politics. I mean, there was one time I asked you, what can you get for 50 cents? Or where could you get 2 Bobby for $1 still in Trinidad? You know?
God, I remember when it was
Or how
4
much is a
bobbies for
snowmint in
$1.
your area?
This is
You know,
so crazy.
how much is a snowmint in your area? No, I'm asking you, what is a Christmas tradition that you must adhere to? You know, I know Ryan Gomez's book is to drink anything, everything but the kitchen sink and make pastels. That is what Ryan Gomez's book does. He makes a Burke's brew and then he makes pastels. Did he make pastels this year, by the way, Sean? Did you speak to Ryan Gomez's book to find out if he made pastels this year?
I have technically never made a pastel with my own hands.
Boy, the privilege of being able to order a pastel and freeze it, yes?
No, I don't. Hold on, time out. I don't order pastels. Those things are too expensive, right? Folks, before my co-host decides to make more assumptions of my economic condition, let's take a break, and when we come back, we open up the phone line. Stay tuned.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
Transform your home with PCU Plus. From stylish furniture to the latest appliances, we have everything you need to create your perfect space. At PCU Plus, we offer fair prices and affordable financing options that are cheaper than hire purchase agreements. With convenient locations in San Fernando, Tobago, Arima, and our lifestyle showroom in Barataria, you're never far from the best deals. Visit PCU Plus today and discover why we're the top choice for quality furniture and appliances. PCU Plus. Quality you trust. Prices you'll love. Visit one of our locations or find us online to start transforming your home today.
Having trouble Christmas shopping? Check out the Kids Shop today. For all your officially licensed kid character merchandise, we carry characters such as Disney Princess, Frozen, Spider-Man, Paw Patrol, Sonic, My Little Pony, and much more. Call or visit us on Facebook or Instagram. Nationwide delivery available. The Kids Shop, for all your licensed kids character merchandise.
Here's your chance to win a bicycle, a ride-on, or a hoverboard. Shop at dbesttoys.com and spend $300 or more to win big.
We've got Bobby,
Hot Wheels, Gel Blasters, Ride-ons,
Leapfrog,
Nerf, bicycles and tricycles.
Greco, and Wonder Baby.
Visit us in store at Forces Flagship, McBean, Movisham for the Spain,
Eastgate Smart and M6 Plaza Endeavour.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Simon's Musical Supplies Limited. We are the specialist in new and used musical instruments, carrying top brands like Yamaha, Pearl River pianos, vinyl and Sabian cymbals, Remo and Evans drumheads and Fender guitars, just to name a few. Also a wide assortment of music books, pan and accessories. At Simon's, we service what we sell. Trust the leader. Call us now at 625-6412 or visit us at 20 Board Street, Port of Spain.
My name is Dr. Stephen Carroll. the CEO at Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist, and we are committed to making good private healthcare affordable.
For all your medical needs, including dental, radiology, laparoscopy, behavioral and mental health, along with many other services, contact us for more information at 235-5479.
Community Hospital of Seventh-day Adventist,
where good private health care is affordable.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com. Me love good thing, and me love your calls. So call in and let us know what are your Christmas traditions. Yes, the gift that keeps on giving. Now I have caused my co-host to be stupefied, petrified, amazed even.
You sure you want to leave those glasses on? You sure you want to have one of those glasses?
Yeah.
Because you look like you're about to sing Little Genie or Cool Heart,
No, I'm Johnny Christmas. Yeah, you want me to Christmas spirit, Keaton? Keaton, you want me to Christmas spirit? Look at me, it's Christmas.
It's Elton John, everybody. It's Elton John.
Folks, call in and let us know what are your traditions, because I actually been trying to think, what are our traditions, and I feel as though because of various circumstances, if whatever traditions we had, we kind of discontinued. So I can't really remember them because it's varied. We used to go by some certain family on Christmas Eve. We used to go by certain family for Christmas lunch.
We used to go for remembering certain family.
No, it's just that like it was consistent for a few years. It was, this set of family for Christmas Eve, this set for lunch, this set for dinner. And of course before that we used to go to Tobago for every Christmas. So things were a lot less formal. We were just, in Tobago, in the apartments, opening presents, and my mom would complain about stolen Christmas ornaments off of a tree every year. That's like the only tradition that we still have consistently. But since we're going to Tobago, we're not going to put up the tree in the house here in Trinidad. And the kids are in Tobago. So, Christmas for the kids, do we really need tree?
You just give away your whole itinerary, man. But it's hard to take you seriously with those glasses on that.
Yeah, but it's
front
Christmas,
Keita. Man, you need to see yourself right now.
Keita, I can see myself very well in the monitor.
So
you know this.
I can tell you, listen, I don't know what it is, but it's like the smell, the certain sense I associate with Christmas. And I remember every year, it was so interesting how I don't know if you have this thing where you remember smells. Like I have a memory that just, and my father was playing Christmas music. He had on Parang. And he had on Poser. I don't know if you know Poser, Sean, but nowadays we all on Scrunter, but there was Poser and there was Poser before, not as prominent today, but he had on a Poser CD, and we were actually putting up our curtains, and I remember my mother boiling sorrel in the kitchen, and my father had not started baking his hammers yet, but he was prepping it. I mean, the preparations that go into baking your ham at Christmas time is quite amazing.
Yes.
It's something I still need to learn, by the way. There's a whole process, a whole marinade. Only get pineapple in real juice. Don't get pineapple in heavy syrup. So, the secret to a great ham is make sure it's not in heavy syrup. Get your sliced pineapple rings in pure juice. All those little things, but you're smelling that sorrel boiling. you're hearing that music playing, you put some the curtains, but you're with your family, and that brought a lot of joy to me. I felt so much just from that. There was another night you'd stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning baking cake and making punch of crumb, and that in itself used to be a lot of fun as well. So those are the things that I honestly like. As a kid, you looked so forward to waking up Christmas morning to whatever presents that you would receive, because it's the kid in you. But you know, you begin to appreciate a lot of those times that you spent with your family doing those things. The punch of crumb, the cake, the sorrel, the music, even the smell of paint. I don't know why, but I really don't know why. You smell a fresh coat of paint, and it's like, oh boy, it's that time of the year. It's Christmas.
So, Keaton, like every year when you were a child, you waited, and when you saw the paintbrush, you knew it's Christmas again. Is that how it went?
I don't know, because I think that for some reason, anytime we had to do minor renovations or repairs to the house, my parents would always choose nearer towards the end of the year. So it just
Now,
used to be something like that.
I don't know if you've noticed this, but I found, or at least looking back, because of course I used to sing in a choir, and there was a significant amount of music in the Christmas lead up to Christmas Day, right? Around now is when choirs kind of go on hiatus, right? But things like foreign Christmas carols, that would be like the itinerary that gets me in the Christmas spirit leading up to Christmas. But then Christmas morning, it really doesn't feel correct unless I hear some of the classic local Christmas tunes, Soca Parang and Parang, to really get that, like, yes, Christmas, you know what I mean? I don't know if you get that. Like, I don't want to hear foreign carols on Christmas morning. I want to hear the local stuff on Christmas Day, right? That really kind of gets me in the mood. I guess it's just how Christmas has been for me. So that's just like my norm. That's what I want. That
Listen,
evokes the
I
spirit
have
in
to
me.
hear Daisy voicing, right? I have to hear Daisy voicing. I have to hear. Sorry, yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
I
we
see you
have
pointing your
Marval on the
finger.
line, yeah. Morning caller, you on, yeah. Merry Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Safe first, I would say safe. Keaton and Sean,
Yeah.
enjoy your Christmas. My memory about Christmas is baking the ham in the Petrolton. And
Yes.
yeah, that's all time. Right?
Yeah. I've heard all those stories, callers. I've heard those stories, yeah.
Yeah, that's baking and baking night. You know what I love when I think of Christmas? Like when you start a paint, there is something about the paint. I just smell the paint that says Christmas. Even when I go in town or I go somewhere and I smell the paint, I find it's Christmas for me. I don't know for anybody else, but that is me. The minute I smell that paint, I say it's Christmas. You know? And I just like the starting. My song for starting for Christmas is Jimmy's. Jimmy's have a song in this thing for Christmas song, and then Bang and Crazy. Yeah, that's my Christmas day.
Okay,
have
caller,
a
thank
safe
you
day.
very much. Thank you
And
for
Merry
sharing
Christmas.
that with us. Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas
Merry
to
Christmas
you and
to you
to
too,
your family.
caller.
You too. Enjoy it.
You too.
We will,
Sure,
we will.
I don't think you've experienced it either. But when you used to boil the ham, I think Gomez Burke could tell us a bit more about this. When you used to boil the ham in the pitch oil tins, my grandparents told me about that used to be so easy. I think it used to take hours to boil or
So
something like that, but they used to do that.
he just said it's to take out all the salt because it was a preserved ham. That might have been
Yeah.
like the process for the old time days because of how the hams were preserved and prepared. Whereas now, I think they're smoked, right?
Yeah, and frozen, and then frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll say this, yes. The smell of a baked ham is also connected to Christmas. Although recently, ironically, my mom would bake a ham, in the middle of the year, to have a ham. So, but usually ham and pastel, we like to have it with my mom's potato salad, right? And hopefully we could maybe cook up some stuff when we get to Tobago and get that kind of, You know, nothing too fancy, nothing too fancy. But I do have a question with regards to pastels, Keaton, and this may make or break our friendship. This is a serious question, Keaton. When it comes to pastels, are you raisins or no raisins?
Ooh. Lord, I feel the sweat coming off. That's a very good question, Sean. No reasons for me.
What? What?
Yep.
I don't know you anymore, Keaton.
Listen, I could have
I don't know you
olives,
anymore.
I could have olives in my pot. I could have capers. I don't mind that. No reasons for me.
No. No, that is incorrect. No.
No reasons.
No.
I'm sorry.
Pastels don't just need raisins, Keaton. They need a lot of raisins.
Listen. You could put your raisins if you wanted anything else. Go and use some toothpicks and stick some raisins in your hand if you want your Michael Small. Do not put raisins in my pasta.
Go in pastels.
Raisins do not belong on
they
pastels.
Go in pastels.
Or in pastels for that.
The sweet and savory and saltiness because of the capers and the olives, you know, and a little bit of sour from the olives and the sweet from the raisins into the meat.
I'm not disputing olives and capers. We do not.
No, you need to balance the flavors. You need to balance. Okay. So, have you ever had a pastel? If my memory serves correct, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not mixing this up with something else. But I believe a pastel with a slice of boiled egg in it.
What?
I know, right? When I first had it too, I was like, "What? Who does this?" I think this is some of the imported food culture from down south.
Listen,
and by south I don't mean San Fernando.
A local grocery chain was selling what they advertised as beef pastels. It ended up being corned beef. What are you doing to pastels?
Okay.
You put a boiled egg in a pastel?
Yeah, no, sliced. Not so it wasn't whole.
Of course it's not whole. It can't be whole in a pastel, Sean.
Hey, listen. Yeah, some people might try. You never know. But with that said, all right, obviously, beef pastels, that's the standard. What other types of pastels, Keaton, have you enjoyed? Because I know my mom actually has done fish and chicken pastels at one point in time, and they're not bad.
It used to be I'm stepping aside from the pastel for a moment, Sean.
Corned beef is a bridge too far.
Because I like my traditional beef and chicken pastels. Because now we have pastels for everyone. That's good. You've got fish and soya. That's good. But I'll stick to my beef and chicken. Recently I tried a stew pork pastel, which it wasn't bad. Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
But there's something else that I used to have and used to see more often, but you're not getting it as much anymore, and that's crabbacks. Where can you get a good crabback in Trinidad, boy?
I mean,
I used to really enjoy that.
I mean, I don't think the amount of breadcrumbs that really makes up the filling of the crabback. You know, one of the worst things that you could do in life is to have shellfish abroad, and then especially crab, because when you come back home now, our local crab tastes good.
A fortunate person, yes. The Diaries of a Fortunate Person, having seafood abroad.
I went to a Red Lobster once in my life.
Every time I open a tin of tuna, that's from abroad,
right?
You know? So
once in my life, I was fortunate enough to eat at a Red Lobster, and I'm just saying, our crab, unfortunately, it tastes nice. I love the taste, but you know, as a
Red
sauce,
Lobster, yes. I was fortunate enough to have blue crab from Carney.
I didn't know Red Lobster is the height of expense and luxury.
Don't worry, I've had Red Lobster as well. I don't think it's anything fantastic.
Well, I mean,
I actually do.
When we went, it was like over 10 years ago. So what it is now, I don't expect to see
I had
what
it earlier this year. I'll be honest with you, it isn't anything fantastic. So I mean,
I think they went out. I think they're close.
So
they were going out of business or something.
You get fresh fish. I mean, it's out of water. It's not even frozen. And I think we had that in Blanchardshire last year when all of us went up, the entire WSN crew.
I'm still gonna tell you, Keaton, the best place for fish, and I might be wrong. They say that they have good fishermen depots in Trinidad, but Tobago never had a bad fish in Tobago.
I think Tobago get the best mahi. Honestly, so
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
off Tobago's waters, you definitely get the best mahi.
Like
Definitely.
if you don't like to eat fish, if you eat fish in Tobago done by a good chef in Tobago, if that'll change your mind, well then I guess you really don't like fish. But that should change your mind because it changed my mind. I never liked fish growing up. I just hated the bones. And then having fish in Tobago, having a good fillet, does nothing fancy on the cook, just grilled, maybe with some butter. We ain't talking anything. Doesn't need anything. Just once it's cooked properly. That is such a treat in and of itself.
Hey, listen, we talking about fish. Have you baking a ham this Christmas in Tobago, my friend?
I don't know. When we get there, we'll see. When we get there, we'll see. I'm not the baker. That's one of the things. I enjoy food, and I try to learn how to cook for myself, but utilizing the oven, baking a ham, stuff like that, I've never attempted to yet.
John, I think the one thing all of us in WSN know that you can cook for certain is ginger. I mean, you could cook ginger and put anything in it. Would you like some chicken with your ginger? Would you like some pork with your ginger? I said, what is ginger,
What are you trying to say, huh? What are you trying to say? Ginger's good for you. You should eat more ginger, Keaton.
I say I agree with you. Ginger is really good for you.
Ironically,
just a spoonful of ginger keeps the medicine down.
As a Chinese man, I love my ginger. I love my fresh ginger. Not really someone that drinks a lot of ginger beer.
Yeah, ginger beer is a bit different, actually. It's not bad. It's just you need to clear your throat, go and knock back some ginger beer.
That was sorrel in my house. Yes, ginger beer wasn't really a thing. I don't know why.
Yeah. But sure, Michael. So guess what? It's not surprising to me that the phones are a bit quiet this morning. It's not surprising at all. I think people have gotten up early and are out doing whatever last minute shopping they can get with whatever last minute deals that they can get. So I'm actually glad for that. I hope people make it a good Christmas. There's another aspect of Christmas that we didn't speak about.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's only a tradition from that year. A tin of Danish butter cookies.
Oh yeah.
Right.
We have none of this here.
Yeah.
That's funny enough.
Of Danish butter cookies, very much associated with Christmas. You eat all the cookies and then you bake your black cake in that tin. Right? That is something, John. That is something. Again, we're going back to our local historian who has lived through all of Trinidad's history himself, Ryan Gomez Burke. He can tell you about that.
I thought you have memory of all of Trinidad and Tobago's history from the womb.
No, actually, I know from about the arrival of Columbus come forward. Then that's.
Or you don't know about the Arawaks and the Caribs?
Huh?
You don't know about the Arawaks and Caribs?
Well, if we talk about the chicken and the bear, then yeah, definitely.
Ah.
No, I know about the Arawaks and Caribs show. Don't worry. Just kidding. But anyway, at this point, Shawn Michael Small, I think as we're nearing the end of Talking Point.
Wait. Don't say it. The end of this episode of Talking Point, Keaton. You gotta be careful now what you throw out there in the universe.
This episode, this edition of Talking Point. Sean, have you been naughty? Have you been nice?
I've been me, Keaton. I've been me.
Oh, my friend, good luck tomorrow.
What's that supposed to mean? What's that supposed to mean, Keaton? Huh?
Good luck tomorrow. I tell you what,
I've been told to ask
we
you.
had an all fours competition in the office, and Sean, who doesn't play all fours, surely knows how to commentate.
I do play all fours. That's how I know how to comment on a Keaton. But I've been told to ask you, what are the 5 P's of Christmas?
The 5 P's of Christmas?
Yes, I have no idea what it means.
Peas and rice, pastel, pomsiti, pomerac, and I can't answer the last one.
Lord. Anyway, we have Tuna Puna on the line. Good morning, caller. You on here?
Good morning to you, and season's greetings. A very happy Christmas and a Merry New Year. I would like just to improve Sean's Christmas by congratulating him on a very well conducted Thursday show where the issues were identified before we went into examine solutions. I will still have to close on this political note. I don't know, it's not a to the decision of this recent inquiry into what caused the fire at the politician's home. While I commiserate with the loss of the family and so on, I think what is missing in a lot of these inquiries is the fact that we do not inquire into the issues. In other words, what we should be addressing our mind, which provides a solution not only for the politician but for other people who may be affected, is the fire services and the supporting
Caller, I think we lost you. Oh, no.
Whoops.
I'm sorry, caller.
What show was he speaking about? This morning show or last week Thursday? I didn't hear.
Last week Thursday, I believe, and I think it might have been talking about the fire, and because I do remember somebody else telling me they appreciated how, in what detail I itemized the areas that needed to be examined, because this is the case, Keaton, where it's not about limiting it. I don't want to just see the fire service examined. Yes, they have questions to answer for, and once we get the answers, we'll be satisfied with that. But there's so many other questions in so many other areas, from how government manages the service and budgets the service and determines the strength of the service, how much equipment. Because I think I have heard, Keaton, there was only one tender in the Arima station. There was only one.
And that was occupied.
Yeah, they had no, because I think best practice would have multiple tenders, and if you have a big fire, you will send most but not all, so that you have something in reserve in case something else pops up. And we apparently don't have that capacity here. It makes the situation, to get more serious in the conversation for a minute, it could be repeated. That's the thing. So you want to examine everything, all of the potential factors. Yes, examine WASA, but it's not to examine WASA because you want to blame WASA alone. Usually in a political witch hunt, you have a target and everything is directed at that target. I'm saying, no, examine everything, because I'm afraid, Keaton, there's so many things that potentially could contribute, and even if they didn't, they could contribute to the next tragedy. And, we're at the stage where technically it's preventable, so let's examine everything to try to prevent anything like this as reasonably as possible from happening again. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to play politics with someone else's loss, but with regards to the investigation, and I'm more hopeful than Jack Warner that the investigation would bear some fruit. Of course, I'm not naive enough to expect that as an absolute certainty, but I have hope. And this is Christmas time, so you know what, let's try not to be too negative, have a little hope, and hopefully, we could see something positive come out of this, as tragic as it is.
Well, we always expect with the turn of a clock and a new chapter beginning that things automatically will get better, or at least we hope that things will improve or get better. But as I always say, you've got to make it happen for yourself. You've got to do your part and you've got to make it work. We can't just say it's going to be a great year. You've got to say, I'm going to make it a great year. You've got to do it for yourself. And sometimes advice is easier to give than to digest on your own and accept on your own. But it's something that we've got to start doing. It starts with our governance, it starts with our politics, and it comes all the way down. I mean, at the end of the day, this is our country. We have a role to play, and whether or not we accept that responsibility will then suggest really where we are heading as a nation together. So even in respect to governance and politics, there's a lot that has to be done. It can't be ignored. It can't be, thrown under the bed and let's just try and distract everybody about it. Let's forget about it. No, we've got a lot of work to do, but are we willing to do it? Are we going to do it?
Well, Keaton, ironically, and maybe we could do this as hopefully I'll remember this for the All Years show next week, Tuesday. Maybe for the new year. And I've tried to a minor degree. But one of the things that Janelle John Bates brought up on the show a while ago was the fact that young professionals, they don't want to be engaged in politics. They don't want to know. They don't even want to read the papers to know, much less be involved and do their part, as you're saying we all should do. But the thing is, young professionals like my generation, your generation, that's essentially the future, right? That's who we need to be involved and not to sit on the sidelines, especially the best and brightest of our respective year groups and generations in between. And I guess now, to what extent can we try to encourage our peers, even if it's just one more person, to try to be, not necessarily to do what we do or to enter into politics, but to find a way to be more involved. Maybe that should be one of the things that, because Mr. San Fernando brought it up, he remembered that conversation and he brought it up and he was right. He lamented the fact that my year group, my generation, seems to have disappeared from any sort of responsible participation in government and our society. And I know, like, this is one of the things where I wish young people in TNT were a bit more, as much as it has its complications, a bit more activist-like, you know, a bit more invested in trying to see change in some meaningful way. And we don't have that, and it worries me.
Of course it worries me as well, Sean, but we've got, as you said, we've got some encouraging young people. Sean, I'll tell you one thing, there's a lot of young people that watch Talking Point, and I hope that they're listening this morning, although I suspect a lot of people are very busy. But I keep saying, you know, you can get turned off from the politics of today, or you can actually get inspired to do something better, to do something greater. You can use it as inspiration or motivation to see this is what I don't like. This is what I see happening. And, you know, we always speak about, well, it's dominated by a party politics system or whatnot. People in France will have opinions, but they're so afraid of expressing their opinions for the sake of their future. Well, go ahead, live in that dynamic, live in that mindset. Your future will be very bleak if you continue to live in that bubble, if you continue to live in that fear. You know, so let's hope that even those generations before us have disappeared in respect to their participation, hope that generations to come actually live up to what is expected of them. And that is open your mouth and play your role and do your part.
Wait, you know, this is strange, having to tell trainees, hey, open your mouth and talk more.
Yeah, but in a civilized way.
In a civilized way.
Open, don't do what.
Disclaimer.
You know.
Disclaimer: the usage of the word hope in today's episode did not intend any puns whatsoever. I just want to throw that out there.
Can we not even comment on that part right now? We don't even need to comment.
Keaton, you're wanting your statement of not wanting to comment is in and of itself a comment. Be careful.
Well, good. I said all I had to say,
folks. Thanks to the callers. I know it's Christmas Eve, so didn't necessarily expect a lot of calls because everybody is probably engaged in some way, whether it's family, last-minute shopping, decorating, wrapping, or relaxing because you're recovering from all of the shopping, as I will soon be, thankfully. I'm grateful for. But thanks to the callers. Keaton, it's been great. Another Christmas on Talking Point in the books. It's our fourth. It's our fourth Christmas. I didn't realize the show is basically 4 years old.
It's our fifth Talking Point Christmas. Actually.
No, fourth Talking Point Christmas. It's your fifth Christmas on air for WSN.
Oh, thanks for that clarification. So yeah, probably fourth Talking Point Christmas and fifth on air, but definitely it's been a year, boy. I know 2024. Right? Just
listen. Next week we'll have a whole episode to talk about the year that was.
And honestly, Sean, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I hope everybody. I know it wouldn't be for everybody, but I hope that somehow or the other we can all share in a true Christmas full of merriment and joy.
Enjoy the Christmas, folks, because like we've been previewing the New Year's episode, yeah. This year in review, I don't know how it's going to be. It's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. That's to put it nicely. Listen, remember your allegiance to the Republic and each other. And it's nice to be nice, especially on Christmas Day. If you're going to be traveling like I am, be nice to the people who are, servicing your travel needs, etc., etc. Keaton, Close the show, my man. 5th Christmas on the air.
Yeah, today is a good day to have a good day, and of course, a very Merry Christmas indeed, Shawn Michael Small. Ho, ho, ho. I hope you turn your bar humbugs into ho, ho, ho's.
But we're forgetting something, Keaton.
Oh yes. Do you hear the jingling in the air?
Ready? You ready? Let's close the show.
Come on, Shawn.
3, 4. Have a content capital Christmas. It's the best time of the year.
Now
I know we have no snow, but Christmas is still here.
Oh, the Christmas shows there for all to see. Movie classics wait for you and our local content for free. Our content capital Christmas. And in case you didn't hear,
oh my God, we have a content capital Christmas this year.
Our content capital Christmas, folks.
And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
WESN.
No human being has ever set foot in Santa's workshop. That is, until Buddy.
I hear you're going on a journey to the big city.
Can't wait to see my dad.
This might be the opportunity to find out who you really are.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal. Papa says New York is pretty different. Sorry! Looks like a Christmas tree. Sorry I can't ride with you the rest of the way up. Well, have a good time. Oh, I forgot to give you a hug. Dad!
You look like you came from the North Pole.
That's exactly where I came from.
You have another son. You like sugar, huh?
Is there sugar and syrup?
Yes.
Then yes.
We can't leave him alone here. He's going to destroy the place.
Son of a nutcracker!
These guys are bad news.
Snowball.
Where did you say you were from?
Fruit spray? Wow.
Tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Oh my God! Santa here? I know him. I know him.
Frosty the Snowman was a jolly happy soul.
with a corn cob pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of coal.
Frosty the snowman is a fairy tale, they say. He was made of snow, but the children know how he came to life one day.
Here's your chance to win a bicycle, a ride-on, or a hoverboard. Shop at dbesttoys.com and spend $300 or more to win big.
We've got Bobby,
Hot Wheels, Gel Blasters, Ride-Ons,
Leapfrog,
Nerf, bicycles and tricycles.
Greco, and Wonder Baby.
Visit us in store at Forces flagship McBean, Movisham for the Spain,
Eastgate Small and M6 Plaza Endeavour.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft